What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Talk. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hensey, joined tonight by the man, Sean Petrucci. How we doing today, Sean?
Doing well. How you doing?
Listen, I can't complain. You know who else can't complain? The man of the hour, Tyler Wade. Now, I know he hasn't had such a fantastic season so far, but I think today we kind of want to make the argument as to why he kind of deserves more playing time. But before we get into that, shout out to everybody for stopping by. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. As usual, we're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season. But back to Tyler Wade. Going into this season, throughout the entire offseason, us two in particular, were heavy critics of Tyler Wade, much like many Yankees fans out there. And I think kind of looking back on it now, it was a little bit overblown, considering that this season, he hasn't been that bad. And I think he hasn't been that bad to the point where you could kind of say he's been fairly good and deserves a little bit more playing time, especially given the Yankees' current situation where Odor seems like he's getting a lot of reps at second base. Brett Gardner's getting a lot of reps in center field. I think Wade has kind of proven with his versatility and kind of his bat hasn't been too bad either, that he kind of deserves just a little bit more of an opportunity out there, right?
Yeah, I would say the hate that we gave him was justified up until this season because he really did nothing. But his versatility, like you said, in the outfield and his ability to just put the ball in play has been huge. That's been the biggest difference because he's so fast. If he just chops one in the infield somewhere, he could beat it out. How many times has he created something just because he put the bat on the ball?
And that's exactly what it is.
He's not hitting it in the gap. Just put the ball in play. Play good defense, and he should play some more.
Yeah, I mean, kind of looking at Tyler Wade, I think he kind of would provide something to the Yankees everyday lineup. I'm not saying he should start every day, but he could provide something to that everyday lineup that they're currently missing. And that's kind of like a left-handed hitter who could kind of just put the ball in play and just beat out infield singles and whatnot, right? And I think what we kind of neglected going into this season is not only his versatility in the infield, but I didn't realize that Tyler Wade could essentially play all three outfield positions.
No, because he hasn't, right?
No, yeah, this isn't something that we've really thought was anything of note up until a couple months ago, I guess, right? And now you kind of look at the Yankees roster, right? And two guys I mentioned, Brett Gardner, Rougned Odor. I think these are two guys that just, honestly, based on their performance so far this season, they can't be starting every single day. And with that being said, I think who better to kind of plug in their spot than Tyler Wade? Now, I could understand why people would kind of counter my argument here and saying oh, Tyler Wade doesn't deserve any more playing time. The Yankees need as much offense as they could get, and Tyler Wade's not going to provide that for them. But my argument, my counter argument to that is going to be until the Yankees get a solidified bat where they could plug into that lineup, like a Ketel Marte where they could have him as their everyday center fielder, or a Starling Marte, or someone down that alley. I think Tyler Wade fits in perfectly, and I think starting 1 day a week for him just isn't enough at this point.
No, and I was just going to say, you just brought it up, but Tyler Wade should play some more just so we don't have to see those guys every day. But I'm afraid that the Yankees might think that their rotation of these two or three guys is good enough, left-handed bats altogether. I'm afraid that because that's not the case. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just they're in a really weird situation right now, right? Because we look at the current lineup construction of the Yankees, and yes, they're very much missing that left-handed bat in the lineup who can kind of break up Stanton and Judge and Glaber and Gio and all their right-handed sluggers. But also at the same time, I think the Yankees kind of view the left-handers that they have as being viable options, right? We know that they still have confidence in Rougned Odor, despite kind of the lack of production he's given the Yankees as of late. They still have. I guess they have confidence in Tyler Wade, right? Despite the fact that he's not a hitter first. He's more of a defense first guy. But I think also what would be a huge kind of upside for the Yankees giving Tyler Wade a little bit more playing time is give him some reps in every single position for postseason time. I know a lot of people are going to come at my throat for saying, oh, Pat, you're talking about the Yankees making the postseason. They're 7 games back in first place. Hear me out here. I'm still fairly confident the Yankees are going to get a playoff spot, right? And at the same time, I'm looking at multiple guys in the Yankees lineup right now who Tyler Wade could substitute as a late game defensive option. If you start Miguel Andujar in left field, for example, it's very, very possible that in the 7th or 8th inning in a playoff game, the Yankees will put Tyler Wade in left field as kind of a defensive replacement because he's proven he's just so smooth in the outfield, out of nowhere. Sean, hear me out when I say this. I look at Tyler Wade in the outfield, and he looks like a natural outfielder. And I trust him out there in a postseason situation.
I would trust him out there over Andujar.
Yeah. And
Maybe Clint.
it's
Maybe.
possible. It's possible. No, it's possible.
It's his
Only
speed,
because
his ability to track down the balls.
exactly. And with his speed being mentioned, that's also why he's guaranteed to be on the postseason roster
No, he
every
definitely
single season. He's a lock, essentially, because the Yankees don't really have that other guy on the bench where they could kind of just like plug in there. Let's say Luke Voit walks right in the 8th inning of a playoff game. I don't know if they're going to be doing this, but we'll see. You put in Tyler Wade to pinch run and then double in the gap scores. I mean, you tie the game. So I think that's why Tyler Wade is so valuable as well. I just think in today's age, players like Tyler Wade are just kind of like not valued as much as they should be. And listen, I get all the Tyler Wade hate coming into the season, but I think it's time for fans to kind of like open their eyes and realize like the dude's not as bad as we thought. He's kind of reverting back to like his 2019 ways when he wasn't too bad. If I look at his 2019 numbers, he played in 43 games, just about the same amount as this season. He had quite a few more plate appearances, to be honest, probably about double, but he batted 245 with a 330 on base, 692 OPS. Those are decent numbers for like a utility bench bat, right? And then looking at this season, he has like around a 600 OPS, nothing too spectacular, but also nothing low enough for fans to kind of like call for him to be DFA'd anymore.
No, I think the problem with all the hate is that he played like virtually every single game in 2020 and he wasn't good. So like it was totally justified to not want to see the guy in the field, but he's good enough, like you said, the late game replacement. We don't need him starting 5 days a week. We don't want that. We don't want to wait in every single lineup. But like you said, come playoff time or even late game now, that's a weapon you want. The extra inning rule, take over for guys that aren't really steady in the outfield. Like he's kind of the perfect weapon to have there, but we don't want to see him every day.
Yeah.
I mean, like a good mix of it.
That's important to say, just because I think, as you mentioned, the extra inning rule, like that's something huge that Wade plays a role in. And I don't know. I just think, listen, Sean, do we think we have to issue like a public apology to Tyler Wade?
I was going to, yes.
Yeah, we
yes, but no, because like
it partially was justified because
all right,
you know how I want to view it. I view it this way. I view it the same way as like kind of the opinion on Gary Sanchez coming into the season, right? As a Gary supporter, I was like, I'm still sticking with Gary going into the 2021 season. I have faith in him that he's going to get better. But at the same time, I could understand fans who just completely trash him because he's coming off a horrible 2020. I think Wade was kind of in the same boat, right? I could kind of get the people who still had faith in Wade coming into the 2021 season. But then at the same time, I can understand people who just totally trashed the dude and thought that he should be like wiped off the face of the earth. You know what I mean? So I guess it could kind of go both ways.
Yeah, it's important to realize that he has tools that can help the team, but he never really showed that he can utilize them to their full potential until this season.
Yeah, and honestly, listen, I know he's not the sexiest option with the bat. It's as simple as that. He's not an amazing hitter. But as you mentioned, I think he provides a little bit of a skill set that the Yankees are lacking right now. And it's kind of a breath of fresh air, right? To kind of plug a speedy outfielder in there, plug a speedy base runner in there who just looks pretty smooth at what he does. So shout out to Tyler Wade. I honestly hope that the Yankees give him a little bit more playing time moving forward, especially over a guy like Rougned Odor, who has struggled significantly at the plate. And I think that's the key, right? I think we're looking at Tyler Wade as not really like the Yankees solution at starting at second base, but I would just like to see him get a little bit of playing time over a guy like Rougned Odor, just because I feel like that he's kind of earned it at this point.
Yeah, that should be the biggest takeaway from this, is that we're not, it's like, it's in comparison to Odor. It's like we would like to see Wade over Odor.
Basically, yeah. But with that being said, shout out to Tyler Wade. I hope you continue to improve this season. That is going to wrap things up for today. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, but you guys know that already. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications for more. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. We will see you guys next time. Peace.